What is up, my dudes? We've got the Corporate Esports Association Dota 2 Spring 2019 tournament going on. Today we've got CapOne, What's in Your Warlock, representing CapOne. I guess the team's just called What's in Your Warlock. And we've got Google Team A representing Google. So a little bit of an uncreative team name coming from Google. But let's hop right into the draft. So we've got an early Ursa, Nyx, and Lifestealer band. This draft is flying by. Just really preparing these bands beforehand. I like to see this a lot from teams, just understanding that they came into this game prepared. So Ursa, Nyx, and Lifestealer are pretty good heroes right now. I feel like Lifestealer has fallen off a little bit. He's gotten nerfed repeatedly, Midas got nerfed repeatedly, and it's just like a little bit too slow for the meta right now, but he's still a pretty good hero if it can get to the late game.
5 seconds. Hurry,
Meanwhile, we've got Monkey King, Viper, and see what else, Alchemist band. So the Alch and the Monkey King are kind of questionable, right? Because like they're usually picked up later in the draft because they get countered pretty hard by a bunch of heroes. Bounty Hunter is a hero that can counter these heroes pretty hard. And an early Bounty Hunter pick for What's in Your Warlock. And this hero is ridiculous right now. He just does so much burst damage with a Janata, 170 bonus damage and he steals 40 gold as well. It's just really annoying. And also, like, if you can't afford to make mistakes against Bounty Hunter, because normally if you trade like 1 for 1, it's fine if like you trade supports for supports, but against Bounty Hunter this is not worth it anymore. It's really hard to play against Bounty Hunter. You have to play pretty flawlessly. So we're going to see Slaughter and Shadow Shaman come out of Google Team A. I believe this is going to be their off lane. It's pretty decently scary. There's a lot of damage coming out. Slaughter also does a ridiculous amount of damage with his bash, 225 bonus damage with the bash of the deep. But this Dazzle, the Dazzle response is not bad actually, because Dazzle does okay against both of these heroes in the lane. You can always shallow grave yourself to stay alive a little bit longer. Gonna be pretty hard to run away from the Slaughter with the sprint, but I think normally the build these days you see from Slaughter is like 114, so the sprint isn't that great early on at the lower levels. It definitely scales much like with levels much better than a lot of other skills. So it's not one of those like one value point things. You really need to invest into it to be useful. You're gonna see Tide Hunter and Brewmaster banned from What's in Your Warlock. It's kind of odd because Slaughter's probably going to be the offlaner, so a little bit strange to ban 2 offlaners immediately after seeing the offlaner, but maybe thinking some position 4 Slaughter, which does happen, but I feel like I haven't seen it too much since they reworked Bash of the Deep. It's just so much more worth to like get farm on the Slaughter and pick up those attack speed items for the extra bashes. In the meantime, we see Husker and OD banned from the side of Google Team A. So Husker is a bit of a cheese hero, just a hero you probably don't want to go up against if you're unfamiliar, but I actually don't think Husker is a very good hero right now. He's fun to play, but he is pretty terrible to win. He's really hard to win with. And OD, another pretty hero who can get off to a pretty good snowball. Oh, sorry, I phrased that badly. If he starts snowballing, which they can with the Bounty Hunter, it's really good for the OD. He can really quickly go out of control, but they've got a lot of lockdown for him so far. So I don't know. It's kind of hard. You have to get in close with the Shadow Shaman. All his spells are pretty low range, and it's going to be hard to get a shackle off because you can always shuriken bounce the track onto the Shadow Shaman. So you're going to have to shackle the Bounty Hunter, or at least wait till he goes down, or wait till he uses the shackles. You'll see Juggernaut, so it's going to be Shadow Shaman and Jug in the lane. Going to go up against Doom. That's a fast pick, Doom. Maybe we'll see Doom go for a Shadow Blade, so he can go for an early, like a sneaky Doom on top of the Juggernaut. But there's the Corrosive Haze to reveal Shadow Blade, so it does lose a little bit of value.
10 seconds to pick.
But I mean, Doom is a pretty good hero against Jug. You do struggle a little bit in the lane, probably against Shadow Shaman and Jug. They definitely have the damage to take out the Doom, so I guess it'll all depend on what creep Doom gets from the jungle. If he gets the Satyr, that'd be pretty nice. If he gets the he can even just pick up a magic resist creep and really just tank through the Blade Fury. It's going to be at least the level 3 Blade Fury before Doom feels any pressure.
Radiant team pick.
So gotta see Bristleback. So interesting. It is gonna be the position for Slaughter. Not something we see too commonly. It's a pretty decent lane, but I don't know. I have mixed thoughts about Bristleback right now. I think he needs a lot of levels to thrive, and if you do a lane with the Bristleback, then he doesn't get the levels that he needs to really take over the off lane.
5 seconds remain.
I have mixed thoughts about Bristleback as a hero now. I don't think he's that great, but at the same time, Doom probably doesn't want to build a Silver Edge, and Bounty Hunter definitely doesn't want to. So might need to pick a core that can build Silver Edge. You can also just Doom the Bristleback, and then there's nothing you can do for the rest of the fight. It doesn't break anymore. You think you need the Aghanim Scepter to get the break on Doom now.
Dire's ban.
Gonna see Necrophos as a response to the Bristleback, just trying to do some percentage damage through the big health pools of the Slaughter and the Bristleback. Also, a way to cancel BKB TPs, spin TPs from the Jug. They have 2 ultis to do it now, and don't have to feel as bad about wasting one of them. But also gives them some nice sustain with the Dazzle and the Necrophos. It's going to be pretty hard to take them down. Maybe one of them buys a Guardian Greaves. Probably going to be it's probably going to be a carry Necro, but Necro is flex, so you can go mid as well if the matchup isn't too bad. But we're probably going to see the carry Necrophos, maybe go for a quick Radiance to try and cancel any Blink shenanigans from Slaughter. That'd be pretty nice. And then let Bounty Hunter build the aura items, Bounty Hunter and Doom. I probably see a Vlad's from the Doom and maybe like a... I think Bounty Hunter could definitely go for Guardian Greaves. So already great stuff coming out from What's in Your Warlock, and I don't think Google Team A, they don't have the team fight to deal with What's in Your Warlock's draft. They're quite single target focused. The Slaughter is he has an AoE crush, but it's pretty low range, so it's pretty hard to get multiple heroes. Gonna ban Storm Spirit actually. I think maybe thinking it's gonna be a mid Necro. But I mean they can always change the lanes. Terrorblade banned out from Google Team A. I think that's a pretty sensible ban. Terrorblade has a ton of armor, doesn't really care about the Corrosive Haze or the Bristleback, and it's got the illusions to stop the Jug ulti as well. So I think Terrorblade would have been a great pick for them. Help some Death Ball. They're really lacking in push right now. They've got the sustain, but they need someone to hit the towers. So we'll see What's in Your Warlock pick. I'm hoping it's not a Drow Ranger. I think that would be pretty terrible right now. But at the same time, it's probably okay. Luna could be okay, but I feel like she would just get crushed in the lane by the Bristleback and Slaughter. Maybe Drow is the pick here. She managed to get through the draft, even though we've been seeing Drow in the first phase like almost every single game in this recently. I mean, Drow doesn't hit towers as well as she used to. We could also see Lycan, and that would be actually pretty sick, but Lycan might struggle a little bit in the lane, but Lycan can also go mid because he's got that Feral Impulse for the HP regen, so not many matchups that he loses. Yeah, they just need someone to hit buildings. So the side of Google Team A, they're gonna need a mid laner who can kind of team fight, right? Maybe. Alright, gotta see Dusa, so interesting. I like this a lot. It's a pretty tanky hero who can hit towers pretty aggressively. The timing is going to be pretty late though, but they've got the Bounty Hunters to accelerate the Dusa if she decides to show up to fights. We'll see how they decide to play it. When does the mech come out? Who's going to build the mech? Because it could be the Necro or the Bounty, but you usually don't really want to build the aura items if you're on the carry Necro. But at the same time, actually, Morphling gonna come out from Google Team A. Interesting. Definitely ticks some of the boxes. He is pretty durable. He he does mind if he gets doomed. If he gets doomed, that's a pretty big deal. Getting Reaper Scythe is actually not too bad because you end up healing a lot of HP through the Strength Morph. If you can get it off first, it'd be pretty nice. But it's a bit of a wild pick. You can also turn into the Deucer, which is pretty sick. Turn into the Necro. There's a lot of good heroes to morph into this game, and I think it's like a pretty decent matchup against the Deucer in mid, because Morphling's base damage is way higher. It doesn't worry too much about the split arrow harass, because you can just strength morph it back and forth. But I kind of like what's in your Warlock's lineup a little bit better. It just seems easier to execute. You know, just group up with the Deucer, let her hit the towers, and have people heal up. And then if the Jug or the Morphling decide they want to test their luck, you just doom them, or you use the Reaper Scythe to finish them off. It's just so much easier. And the Bounty as well is going to put so much pressure. The Shadow Shaman is going to have a really hard game getting anything done. And they've also got the Dazzle to make people invincible. They didn't pick an axe, so the Shallow Grave is going to be pretty clutch. Yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty what's in your Warlock favored game. But let's hop into the game. On the side of what's in your Warlock from Capital One, we've got Pyro Trout on the Dazzle, we've got BS on the Bounty Hunter, Strawberry Cheesecake on the Deucer, F&W on the Doom, and CSC on the Necrophos. The side of Google Team A, we've got Wolfen on the Slaughter, Young B on the Shadow Shaman, some Chinese name that I can't read on the Juggernaut, he's got T on the Bristleback, and Noob on the Morphling. So, gonna have that mid Morphling against the mid Deucer. Gonna be interesting. See if the Bounty Hunter decides to go for Janata at level 1. I don't like seeing Shadow Walk at level 1 anymore. I think just Janata has so much value. You get that little bit of extra gold, that little bit of extra burst damage. It's 80 bonus damage at level 1. That's like 2.5 extra hits that you just get. But he's going to pick up Shadow Walk at level 1. Don't agree with this at all, actually, because there's nothing to stop the Bounty Hunter from just running at the Shadow Shaman with the Doom, and they use Infernal Blade and Janata, but maybe they'll wait for level 2, so the Doom can pick up an early point in Devour, and you can have the Shadow Walk and the Janata at the same time. Doesn't look like Shadow Shaman has a Sentry for his lane, so he's going to struggle a lot there. Slaughter's the one with the Sentry for some reason, a little bit odd, because don't think Bounty Hunter's going to go into this lane. It's going to be Necro and Dazzle. There's so much sustain coming out as well. I mean, the Shadow Wave isn't that good at level 1, and you usually want to max the Poison Touch first these days because it's Dazzle's best spell. So not as much sustain as you would expect, because Dazzle's more about that mid-game sustain. You get some early points on the Poison Touch. But I think this is going to be a pretty tough lane for the Slaughter and Bristleback. I feel like it's going to fall quite flat unless the Slaughter is really good at counting his hits and making sure he always uses the bashes on the enemy heroes. But even then, it's going to be pretty tough. The Necrophos didn't start with an early stick though. Neither did the Dazzler. This is a bit concerning. But an early Poison Touch onto the Bristleback. He's already lost a third of his HP pool, so pretty rough stuff for him. Mid lane, you know, just normal Morphling things being on like 400 HP. And Morphling's got to be a little bit careful. The damage from Mana Snake, Mystic Snake, can really stack up and do a ton of damage if you're not careful. If it's the last hit, so Shackles onto the Doom, gets spun on. It's going to be pretty difficult to take him out, but he will eventually goes down. Shadow Shaman hits pretty hard for 74 damage. And it's just a level 1 Blade Fury, so Doom just using his Devour on a range creep or something. She's gonna TP to the jungle for some reason. Didn't have Devour up, so it's kind of questionable. Shadow Shaman gonna pull the creeps to try and control the lane a little bit better. And still no points in the Janata to steal the gold away from Bounty Hunter. Mid lane, it's going to be a bit of a farm fest. I feel like Morphling should just, I mean, this is kind of a scary lane for Morph still, because you can always just get, like, Mystic snaked to death. It just feels kind of rough. But he should be okay for the most part. If he, like, is not good with the dodging the Mystic snakes. Blade Fury onto the Bounty Hunter. He's got level 2 now, so got the point in Janata. Gonna go back and heal, I think? What's going on here? Is he gonna... He's just gonna eat a tango. Gonna let the Doom get some experience here by himself. He's got level 2 now, so he can always roam onto the mid lane. Morphling, when he's on low HP, he's got a lot of armor, already 11 armor under the tower. But there's no sentry for him, so if the Deucer gets a nice Mystic Snake off, and it's only a level 2 attribute shift, not gonna be able to get the damage, but Morphling, he's in a little bit of trouble here. It's gonna be okay. The burst is over. The Mystic Snake didn't bounce onto the Morph, unfortunately, so not going to be able to secure that kill. Getting really low again. Actually, Mystic Snake the Morph straight away. So it's going to be a sentry now for the mid lane. Meanwhile, the Shadow Shaman, he's going to be in a bit of trouble. There's no point in Infernal Blade, but the Scorch Earth comes out to chase the Shadow Shaman a bit more efficiently. Ether Shock comes out onto the Doom, but if he shackles, he's in a lot of trouble.
Radiant's top tower is under siege.
Wastes the Janata hit on the creep. Very unfortunate for the Bounty Hunter there. Necro actually doing pretty well. The Bristleback and the Slider are really struggling in this lane. There's not much that they can do against the Necrophage. You can just like slowly whittle them down with the Heartstopper aura, and then if they get any damage on him at all, just use the Death Pulse to heal up. I mean, Bristleback, the main problem with Bristleback is he's very like limited by his mana. Once he's out of mana, he's completely useless. I feel like the only way to make Bristleback work these days is to have like a Cuddle lane, but then you gotta pick Cuddle, and that comes with its own host of problems. Cuddle's not the same man he was. It turns out old men can learn new tricks. So Bounty Hunter puts an early point in Shuriken to help cancel the shackles. I like this a lot. Otherwise you would have seen the second point in Janata for that bonus gold steal. The damage doesn't scale that well, so the level 1 Janata is really nice for the damage. Gonna invis out of the Blade Fury. You can still see the like little cuts. So gonna use the Shuriken to cancel the shackles, but it's almost over anyway. But the Doom will eventually make it out, picks up the net creep, but the net doesn't go through BKB anymore. So very unfortunate change. They're up against the Jug, which it doesn't work as well as it used to. You might see a shackle, a Mango and a shackle come out from the Shadow Shaman. Meanwhile, the Dazzle goes down, so they're diving this pretty aggressively. One more hit will kill the Bristleback, so trading the Dazzle for the Bristleback, very much worth it, especially because Necro gets the kill. We'll see what this Necro decides to go for. If he's feeling bold, maybe go for a Radiance Rush, because he's not feeling much pressure, and Dusa also wants to farm for a while, and she's also not feeling pressured. Well, Slada just gonna feed his life boy, didn't manage to get the bounty in either, so bit of a casual feed there. And it's not like the side of Google Team 8, it doesn't seem like they want to fight and group up and fight that early, so definitely the Necro and the Dusa can afford to farm, and this is actually really bad. Maybe we'll see Jug go for an early Diffusal Blade instead of the Battle Fury and look to fight early. But then, if he doesn't go for Battle Fury, it's going to be pretty hard to keep up with the Dusa. Dusa's farms very, very fast. Already level 6. Morphling's pretty close to level 6 as well. But no Janata proc. It seems like he wasted it on something. That's a bit confusing. Another Poison Touch onto the bot lane. Slider's still only level 2. That position for Slider not really working out. The Bristleback will go down again against this double damage Dazzle. So a lot of damage coming out from them. And this bot lane is a complete disaster. I'm not really sure what the goal of this Bristle Slider lane was. Feels like he got countered so hard by the Necro. This Bristleback only has 16 last hits. He's very far behind on net worth, half the net worth of the Necro face. Doom is also struggling a little bit, but it's a Doom. You can always just use Devour to catch up. Devour's off cooldown, so pretty unacceptable. Devour's a siege creep.
Move faster.
But you probably should have devoured the range creep for the extra experience, because the range creep ended up getting denied by the Jug. It's pretty hard to last hit against the Jug when you're the Doom. Sentry will spot out the Bounty Hunter, but looks like he's going to be okay. He's a bit faster than the Shadow Shaman. Will make it out by the skin of his teeth. No points in Infernal Blade by the Doom yet. Quite interesting skill build coming out of him. I feel like the value point in Infernal Blade is very much worth it. It's really good at level 1. It's also another stun. Meanwhile, the Reaper's Scythe will finish off the Slaughter, but Bristleback manages to get the kill, so a huge turnaround for this Bristleback, a kill that he very desperately needed. Gets a follow-up kill on the Dazzle by the Shadow Shaman, so nice TP rotation from him. And the Jug can definitely 1v1 the Doom right now, but Doom's almost level 6. Jug is level 6 now, so if the Doom is out of position, he can get for that easy Omni Slash. It's going to be pretty tough. No points in Infernal Blade to get the extra damage, like to chase the Jug a little bit, because you really need that slow from the stun from the Infernal Blade. Actually gonna trade out the net creep for the chicken creep, so 2 extra armor, or 3 extra armor. The tornado is not very good, but the extra armor is okay. He's got 9 armor, 10 armor on the Doom, which is pretty absurd. But I feel like the net would have been a little bit better. If he dooms the Jug, he can always net the Jug afterwards. And to stop him, just slow him down a little bit, get a few more right clicks in, because the Jug is a lot faster than the Doom when Scorched Earth is down. But I think during Scorched Earth, Doom might be probably around the same speed. I feel like the net would have given him a lot more kill potential, but just getting the chicken to stay alive a little bit longer. There's definitely a lot of physical damage coming out from the side of Google Team A, so maybe gonna keep the chicken aura for a while and just help his team tank up. He's gonna go for a quick drums, so we'll see what the Bounty Hunter decides to go for. I think Bounty is the one who's gonna go for the Grease, but it's a position 4 Bounty, so it's gonna be quite a while before he gets it. It still doesn't have level. He's not even gonna get level 6 if he picks up the Tome. So this Bounty Hunter really far behind on levels. Doom, he's in a little bit of trouble. He needs to stay near the creep so the Omni Slash won't kill him, but he's going to be okay. He's going to duke his way out of the trees, sees that the Jug is no longer looking for him, so we'll be able to walk out. So mid lane, it's pretty even actually, but the Deucer can always farm this camp faster than the Morphling. I mean, Morphling farms the jungle pretty fast. So you see this early Morbid Mask, which Nisha made pretty popular about a year ago. His Morphling is definitely the best in the world, and gonna go for a quick Lincolns for the Morphling. I think this makes sense. Normally, like, you don't want to go for the Lincolns first because it really slows down your like damage potential. The Reaper's Scythe will get mostly blocked by the Bristleback, but looks like the Death Pulse might finish him off. It is from behind. He's got 2 points at the Bristleback, and he will end up going down to the Death Pulse, just barely not able to use the stick in time. Very unfortunate for him. Meanwhile, the Slaughter will go down as well. So the Bounty, he's halfway to level 4. Gonna get more money from the Shadow Shaman. Gonna pick up another kill as well to get close to that level 6. And if he picks up the Tome, he'll be really close. Morphling's here now with a double damage, but he's quite low. Strength attribute shifts into strength, and it turns into the Necro, but it's pretty dangerous. He's on pretty low HP. Another Adaptive Strike comes out. There's going to be a bash from the Slaughter into a Slitherine Crush. Uses the Ghost Shroud, but isn't able to attack during it. Morphs back into the Morphling form. He doesn't have any points in waveform, so won't be able to get out. He's completely strength morphed now, and it looks like he's going to slowly get chipped away. The Death Pulse will finish him off. So very unfortunate for the Morphling. Showing up to a fight with a double damage, but isn't able to finish anyone off. He was forced to strength morph pretty heavily into the strength, so the double damage slowly loses its value. Only 38 base damage on this Morphling.
Dire's middle tower taking
So Jug gonna go for a quick Yasha to help him farm faster, but maybe we'll see the Diffusal Blade afterwards to deal with that Deucer a little bit. And Deucer gonna take at this tier 1 tower in mid, very important to opens up the jungle. Bounty Hunter, if he picked up the tome, he should be level 6, but Dazzle picked it up? That's a very huge communication error. You pick this Bounty Hunter to get the early level 6 and snowball, but didn't go for it, so it's kind of weird. At the same time, they don't have any heroes that, like, there's the Reaper Scythe and the Doom to get kills, I guess, so, it's a big mistake giving the tome to Dazzle. Alright, well, Necro gets shackled, the Jug is here now, he gets ward trapped, and the Omni Slash can come out, uses the Blade Fury, that's not the play at all, and he will end up TPing out. He already used the Ghost Shroud, so there was no need to wait for the Omni Slash. He should have just used it straight away. Maybe thinking he wasn't going to get the damage because, I don't know, he's got an early Yasha as well. He definitely could have had the damage to kill the Necro there if he went straight for the Omni Slash. But good heads up play from the Necro. Will TP out. Gotta chase this Dazzle under the tower. Also gonna go down. Not right clicking him during the spin actually. Very odd.
Radiant's middle tower is being attacked.
Probably could have killed that Dazzle there as well. I don't know. This Jug seems like he's not that familiar with the hero.
Under fire.
So Morphling gonna go for Linken's, as I mentioned earlier. Great against the Doom, great against the Necro ulti. And it's probably gonna primarily get blocked by the Atos. Gonna see Vlad picked up by the Doom next. So he's just doubling down on those auras. Nice early game auras as well. So Dusa gonna go for a Maelstrom. I like this a lot. She probably should have gone for the Maelstrom before the Dragonlance. It just she wasn't struggling very much, and the Dragonlance doesn't give you as much stats. It's been nerfed pretty repeatedly for a while. The track onto the Jug, but we'll be able to run it away. Bounty's finally level 6, so we'll see what he's able to pick up. Maybe he should go for a smoke gank with the Necro first. Necro's gonna go for a Dagon actually. So Atos into Dagon, just trying to get that burst damage for his team, and then it's pretty nice if he can like Dagon and then Reaper Scythe the Morphling before he can react. That'd be pretty huge. Spin from the Jug, Hex onto the Necrophos, but just gonna be able to walk out. The track is gonna help them run away. So Jug gonna go for a Manta style instead of Diffusal Blade first. It's not that good. Like there's nothing that the Manta style helps with. Like it doesn't make it doesn't dispel anything. The Bristleback gets Hadouken by the Doom, so he'll actually end up going down. Great play by the Doom. Will give up his life for the Bristleback. Probably not worth it for him because he's pretty far ahead of the Bristleback. Atos onto the Slaughter. He's gonna get Reaper Scythe. There's no track kill though, so a bit unfortunate for the side of What's in Your Warlock, but nice turnaround kills. Gets 2 for 1 for the Doom. Bounty's here now as well, can keep getting tracks. Gonna put a track onto the Morphling as well, and this Shadow Shaman's gonna go down. And nice track kill for the Bounty Hunter on his way to the Guardian Greaves. It's like 1,000 gold away from the mech, which would be pretty big for him. So 15-minute bounty runes, already a 5k gold lead for What's in Your Warlock, so they're off to a great start, and it's going to be really hard for the side of Google Team A to come back. This Slaughter's so far away from a Blink Dagger, it doesn't even have it queued up, it's going for a wand. And Shadow Shaman as well, another hero who needs a lot of farm. Doesn't even have Arcane Boots yet. Blink is a pipe dream for him. Probably going to go for an Aether Lens instead, just to try and... It's an easier build up than the Blink Dagger. So Morphling actually going to stop at the Perseverance. It's a little bit questionable honestly, because if you're going to go for the E-Blade, you might as well pick it up first. Like the Perseverance doesn't give you anything. So kind of an odd item build coming out of the Morphling. Maybe just wanted the regen so he can farm a bit more effectively. He uses mana while he farms. Morphling does have a lot of mana issues. He keeps getting Mystic Snaked, so nice crush onto the Doom. The tracks will start coming out though. The Slaughter not gonna get the track kill on the Slaughter because the Bounty Hunter's left already. I don't know why Bounty went so far away. Jug is here now. He aggressively spins forward. There's still the Ghost Shroud on the Necrophos, so they can't Omni Slash him yet. And it looks like it's just going to be a disengage. Gonna get the slaughter, so 1 for nothing. Pretty nice. Meanwhile, the Deucer is just farming away. She's almost got her Maelstrom now. Gonna farm pretty fast once she gets it. Only 2 points in the split shot though, so a little bit of a slower farming build from her. I don't... it felt like she wasn't being pressured very much in the lane, so probably should have gone for like a more farm heavy build. The more points in the split shot earlier on, and then pick up the Maelstrom before the Dragonlance, and I think like Deucer would have been able to get away with that pretty easily. Deucer gonna pick up the haste in front of the Jug, so nice to pick up for the Deucer there. We'll see if she looks to do anything, because she can definitely just run in a Stone Gaze, and you can't really do much against it, because if you turn around she can just phase boots and runs through you. So definitely could have played very aggressively there, but she doesn't really have any damage yet. The Maelstrom's about to come out. Once it comes out, it'll boost her damage significantly. Necro almost level 2. He's completely out of mana. I actually picked up Boosted Travel, so skipping the Dagon altogether. And gonna go back for a Radiance. Interesting plays by the Necro. I kind of like the Boosted Travel because the Bounty Hunter can scout out and look for kills, and then if there's a kill that presents itself, Necro can always just TP in and Reaper Sight to get the kill. So I do like this this Necro build quite a bit. Atos onto the Bristleback, but nah, it's gonna chip away at this tower eventually. Maelstrom finally delivered on the Deucer, and it looks like they want to fight here. They probably shouldn't keep going high ground. They should just take the other towers. And this is really like a power spike for the side of what's in your Warlock. They've almost got the mech done on the Bounty Hunter, and once that's done, it's going to be super difficult for the side of Google Team A to engage. Morphling also, he feels like he's really far behind actually. Like he's 2k gold behind the Deucer and even the Necro face. Alright, so looks like they're gonna try and make moves on the Necro. A long range waveform for the Morphling. He took the waveform talent and full strength morph to get the long duration stun as well. Diffusal Blade done on the Juggernaut, so he's gonna finish it off. Nice crush will cancel the TP for the Necro, so Necro will actually go down this time. A mega kill streak ended for the Slaughter. That's pretty huge because now he's halfway to his Blink Dagger now. But Deucer, she's queued up Skadi. Once she gets it, it's going to be so difficult to kill her. So Jug did go for the Diffusal Blade, so the Manta Star, I like this a lot more. Gives it a little bit more catch with the Cripple, and also the Mana Drain to help kill the Deucer a bit faster. This Deucer can definitely go down. If she gets solo Omni Slash, it's like she just loses all her mana so quickly. But I gotta take another tower. So only one outer tower remaining for Google Team A, and they're kind of against the clock here because once this Deucer gets the Skadi and she picks up the Aegis, it's going to be so difficult to kill her twice, especially with the Dazzle to save her as well. Actually, 0 points in the Shallow Grave, quite interesting there. But I guess they haven't really needed it. Dazzle will TP in to the shrine, gets a nice D ward on the enemy observer ward, and gonna get spotted out by the Morphling. Actually a short duration stun because he was mostly agility. Gets the long range waveform out, but this Morph, he's in a lot of trouble. Still Poison Touch up. Nice long duration stun on the Doom will stop him from being able to doom him. But this Morph, he's out of mana, gets Reaper Sight, and he will end up going down. And also a Doom on the Jug as well, so the Jug also going to go down. Another track kill for the side of what's in your Warlock, and an already complete disaster for them. Could have gone for more, but they'll set up for the two big cores for the side of Google Team A 1700k gold swing. Oh, 1700 gold swing. Alright, Atos onto the Shadow Shaman, gets tracked up, so it looks like he's going to go down as well. If they decide to dive the tower, they really should. There's nothing to be afraid of. The worst case is the carries buy back. The Shadow Shaman will eventually go down, and the Bristleback in a lot of trouble as well. So it looks like he'll eventually go down. It's going to take some time. Gets body blocked by the creeps, so Scumbag creeps will get him killed. And it looks like it's time to go. There's 4 heroes down on the side of Google Team C. They're just going to group up behind the Deucer and push. And she's only one component away from the Skadi now, so going to be pretty difficult to take down. They're going to get this T3 tower pretty easily. Morph still down for 12 seconds. We'll see how long they decide to stay. And honestly, like, how are they going to defend this? The Omni Slash isn't going to be that effective. Atos comes out onto the Juggernaut now. He's going to be forced to Blade Fury, and now he's in a lot of trouble. Going to be forced to Omni Slash right after this, I would assume. But he's getting pretty low. The Poison Touch comes out. Oh, here, Jug will get bursted down. He doesn't have buyback for 45 seconds. Double kill for the Necrophos, and the Slider and Shadow Shaman go down as well. The Morphling in a lot of trouble. There's no Necro ulti to instantly kill him, but he's in so much trouble. He's fully strength morph, and they still have the damage to take him out. Shadow Shaman will die back. Buyback from the Slider will be able to slow down the Deucer a little bit, but it's time to run away. They managed to get the mid racks. The Bristleback chasing the Bounty Hunters in the black lines, but they don't have any vision for him anymore. And the Bristleback will slowly get chipped away by the Necrophos, and this game looking pretty grim for the side of Google Team A. 3 heroes down with no buyback. Looks like they've got to sound the retreat. They got what they came for. They got the racks. Can take this Shrine next to make the Roche harder. They're going to go back for Roche now as well. They can also go for this T2 tower afterwards and just push straight onto the T3. Get a big gold advantage. 19k gold advantage for the side of what's in your Warlock. So the Dota Plus win rate approaching 100%. Seems about what the game is at. Radiant now done on the Necrophos. Deucer also done for the Skadi. Going to be impossible to take down now that she has 2 lives. Doom going to go for a Heaven's Halberd to disarm the Morphling. Morphling, he's just got a Perseverance. That's it. That's all he has. So, yep, this game is looking pretty grim for Google Team A. I'm not really sure how they can come back into it. The Slider's almost got his blink, but I think he's not going to get it before this game ends, unless he farms it right now. But Slider doesn't farm very fast. That's why core Sliders generally don't do that well. And Bristleback, he's got a Hood and a Vanguard, but he's very far away from either of the upgraded versions, which is what his team really needs right now. Gonna go back for Treads, actually. So, Shadow Shaman, gonna get Reaper's side. They feel pretty far ahead right now. Gonna go back for an Ags on the Necrophos, so that next time he does that play, it's not gonna feel as bad.
Radiant's bottom tower under fire.
And there's 50 seconds on the sideline for Shadow Shaman. He has no buyback as well. This is pretty bad news bears for the side of Google Team A, and I think we're just gonna see the beginning of the end for them. Really, they kind of just got outdrafted pretty hard. The Deucer was a nice final pick. Kind of serves the same purpose that Terrorblade does. I do think that Google had the right idea banning Terrorblade, but Deucer is also way easier to execute. You don't have to micro any illusions, you don't have to worry about getting bursted, because you can always just Stone Gaze like this and completely disengage. The Doom on the Morphling will push him back for a little while, so they'll be able to get these racks pretty much for free. Still the Doom on the Morphling. No, Bristleback's getting a pretty decent amount of stacks with the Quills, but it's just not going to be enough damage. Omni Slash finally comes out, but Jug isn't jacked up enough to finish off the enemy team. And Shadow Shaman, Jug will go down. So 3 down on the side of Google. Jug has buyback, but not going to matter at this point. GG is finally called. And great showing from what's in your Warlock. Great draft coming out of them. Very easy to execute. Game should have ended by now. Yeah, I mean, just pretty easy chart overall. Look at this, like, straight upwards trajectory on the gold. There were a few things that what's in your Warlock could have done better. They could have given Bounty Hunter the tome at the 10-minute mark, so he could snowball a bit earlier. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. They had a much easier draft to execute. 2 big single target ultimates to take out the Jug and the Morph. And I mean, how much damage did these heroes do? The Necrophos did 28,000 damage. It's a shit ton of damage. Deucer did 18,000. Even this Dazzle did 15,000 damage. That's insane. He did so much damage with the Poison Touch. But good game from What's in Your Warlock.